Nikole Killion joins me now from Capitol Hill. There are lots of big days on Capitol Hill. Today is a pretty big day, Nikole. Things seem to be hanging in the balance with the president's domestic agenda wrapped up in this big bill. Catch us up.
Yeah, I was going to say, and maybe getting even bigger, Major, because we just learned that Elon Musk is here on Capitol Hill, although it's unclear for what purpose. And right now it sounds like he may be on the Senate side of the Capitol. But of course, this comes one day after President Trump was just here rallying House Republicans to pass his so-called big, beautiful bill. And of course, we know this afternoon that the president also met with Speaker Mike Johnson and members of the House Freedom Caucus. So on the part of the speaker, he was non-committal as to how soon they will move forward with a vote on this package. He has always stood by trying to do this before the Memorial Day recess, and he said that he was still on schedule to do that. But there has been some speculation that the House could move on this package as soon as tonight. But as we get further into the day, there are certainly a lot of questions about whether or not that could even happen, because we also still have yet to see legislative text in terms of some of the changes to the bill that the speaker has been working on as he tries to negotiate various deals with both moderate and conservative members of his conference.
And just to walk the audience through this, the legislation before the Rules Committee is written, but they're waiting for, as I understand it, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Nikole, they're waiting for what's known as a manager's amendment, which is an amendment written by leadership, which has all the negotiated changes. Well, you can't submit that manager's amendment until you fully negotiated all the changes. And it seems to me right now that's where the hang-up is.
Exactly. And obviously, we have been watching the Rules Committee for the better part of the day work through this package starting from 1 a.m. They actually just recessed to take a break, presumably because they might be waiting for that language. But as we have been reporting for some time now, the speaker has been trying to negotiate various deals, for instance, with more moderate Republicans who are seeking a higher cap on the state and local tax deductions, particularly in states like New York and California, where they say the burden of state and local taxes are too high. And so right now that cap is at $10,000. Some want to see that at $30,000, $40,000 or more, potentially to help their constituents. But then conservatives have had an issue with that because paying for that has to come from somewhere. They feel that that's too much of a giveaway to these so-called blue state Republicans. They have been pushing for changes to Medicaid, whether that is moving up the work requirements for Medicaid. Right now, those are set to take effect in 2029, but some conservatives have been pushing for those to be implemented as soon as this year or even next year. So we're waiting to see if that's part of the package. And of course, earlier members of the House Freedom Caucus said that they did accept a proposal from the White House, not only around changes for Medicaid, but also in terms of some of the changes they're seeking in terms of rolling back some of these green energy tax subsidies under the Biden administration and the Inflation Reduction Act. So all of those details, yes, would presumably be wrapped up into a nice, neat bow in this so-called manager's amendment, which we have yet to see.
And Nikole, this is a deadline, but is, and I'd like you to remind the audience of this, an artificial deadline. It's one set by Speaker Johnson. Nothing terrible is going to happen. The legislation's not going to fall apart if they don't vote on it by Friday. They can come back after that, but leaders like to set deadlines because they know they force action. But if it doesn't happen this week, that doesn't mean it's a calamity. It just means they have to work harder in the future.
Yeah, well, that's kind of been the argument in terms of some of the members of the House Freedom Caucus who, again, say that they have accepted this proposal from the White House. And so while they are pleased with that, they still feel that they want a little bit more time. They want to make sure the changes they're seeking are codified before they move forward. So they have been pushing for this vote to be moved off. But as I just mentioned, Speaker Mike Johnson, as he left for the White House, said that he wants to stick to this schedule of trying to get it done before Memorial Day. And some of that is obviously, with many leaders, they don't want to lose momentum, particularly on such a big package. And that's kind of the point that a lot of GOP leaders are making is, look, we've been working on this package for the better part of a year. There shouldn't be too many surprises in here. And so it's time to move the ball forward. Furthermore, you do have the Treasury Secretary who recently warned about the debt ceiling and reaching that so-called X date where the U.S. kind of runs up against its credit limit, and that is expected to hit sometime in mid-July. So that is also weighing on GOP leaders, which is why they want to move this package forward, because it would deal with an increase in the debt limit in the range of $4 to $5 trillion. So that's why time is of essence with this bill.
Always with the details, Nikole Killion. It's quite possible within this hour there might be some news about scheduling. And if there is, Nikole will be at that camera and will bring it to us. I promise you. Nikole, thanks so very much.